What's up, baby?
Turkey killing mofos. Hey, you a professional now.
You got her? Heck yeah, man. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
Storytelling in regards to hunting and fishing has gone back hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Literally on the rock walls of our nation.
Push it.
Yes, sir.
What you doing, Brandon?
Go. By the way, your nipples are already wet.
I just shot probably one of the most epic scenes, probably ever. These two monster bugs got after it, and it was so cool.
That's about like what you want it to look like. Cover it.
Oh, he's so handsome.
That's a big deer, Megs.
He's big. He's a big boy. That's talking whitetail.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Holy crap.
Look at those hooves.
Everybody wants to be a turkey hunter until it's time to do turkey hunters.
What's going on, man?
What's happening?
Glad you can hear me. Oh, what a day. Jared, after all the things we've done together, I can say that today was the scariest I've ever been in my life.
What happened?
So I walked downstairs at work, in a building, and which, granted, there's a bay door there. It's the warehouse. And I opened the door to SSA where we keep all our guns and stuff because I had to switch out some stuff. And there's a guy with me that I work with, Matthew Pompa, and he was walking in behind me and he was going to grab the cart. And I scanned my badge, opened the door, and I kind of stood in the doorway, right? Turned my back, he grabbed the cart and he looked down and he said, "That looks like a snake.
Ooh,
That looks like a rattlesnake." And I looked down and I don't know, less than 6 inches was a baby rattlesnake. And the only thing I think saved me from getting bit was the fact that room is really, really cold.
probably so.
Because he didn't move at first. I stood there for a second because I didn't want to move any strike. I hadn't gotten to the conclusion that he was cold yet,
Yeah.
And it's funny because I got it on tape on the cameras, and you could see me. You can't hear me, but you can see me, and I'm like, "There's a fucking snake right here. There's a fucking rattlesnake right here in the building." Yeah. So I looked at it and figured out it wasn't really moving. So I took my chance and I kind of, hopped over it through the doorway and got out, and we got a broom and put it in one of the containers. But he warmed up a little bit because one of the guys from shipping came out and was looking at it and had it in those big plastic totes. So he was holding it like this, and it struck a couple times when he was looking at it. So I was like, yeah, I'm glad he stayed cold in that room. But yeah, that's how my day went today. Was not went traipsing around,
I'm
this
glad
weekend.
I'm glad you're with us still, brother.
I thought the snakes would be, not let alone they're in our armory apparently. So
Listen, we done went to Idaho in the mountains and been in South Texas. We've done some things to be around them, but
yeah,
not where you thought you were going to
now
see
I
one.
thought it was gonna work.
Yeah.
I'd have been a little upset if that's the way it would have got me. Out of all the times we didn't probably walk past one or sat next to one and everything else, just at work. But yeah, man.
Hey, I really don't want to, hurt the rest of your day or your thoughts moving forward, but I just got to tell you, if there's one baby somewhere, there's likely some other somewhere
Oh,
else.
that's really what made me move, was the fact that is mama in here, and then she'd had more. So yeah, I'm gonna be on the lookout around every corner until the first time it gets below 30 degrees, and then I might back off a little bit, but I'm still gonna be looking from now on.
Hey, listen, Brandon's offensive tire just upgraded to snake boots, dog. Like
Dude,
he's wearing
I'm gonna
snake
be
boots to
wearing
the office.
my Listos to work every day. Like I'm gonna take them in tomorrow. Yeah, that's the way I'm gonna go to work from now on. So I don't have to worry about getting bit by rattlesnakes. But yeah,
That
man,
boy.
uh, that was it's not what I was expecting to come back to at work today.
No.
I tell you that.
Y'all need to tell him, hey, look, y'all need to get an exterminator in here to be checking air vents and shit. I ain't even playing. Y'all are fucked up. Y'all think you're
Yeah,
done seeing these things.
yeah. Then I'll please make this be the last. Like, cause now I'm worried I'm gonna be looking through the shelves before I reach in here to grab suppressors now too. Cause I mean, they could have crawled up in the machine, and then I go to check a shelf. Yeah, I'm gonna get me some. I'm gonna order me a snake stick, and that's how I'm gonna reach in there to
Hmm.
pull stuff out from now on.
You gotta
Oh
have the
man,
old person garbage getter, the
yeah,
little with the
exactly.
trigger, just picking
Yeah,
shit up. Yeah.
exactly. That's how I'm gonna be pulling stuff from now on. Oh man, but yeah, welcome to the podcast. I would, like I said, I was not expecting that today, but that's the closest I've ever been to one without knowing it was there first, for sure.
Well,
And it happened at
good.
work.
I'm glad we're having this conversation today, Brandon.
Yeah, me
So,
too. Me too. But yeah, man, glad to have you back on the podcast as always. We're here to talk the recap from Africa. Even though it's been a little bit, we've been busy and everything else. We finally got the studio put back together, so we're back and rolling again. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff going in. We got the new logo coming out, new YouTube channels that's rocking pretty good right now. If you haven't checked out the new YouTube channel, Tejas Hunt Club, no longer posting the hunting stuff on Bar MC Media. Some of it, maybe, every now and then, but we'll see. Most of it's going to go to Tails Hunt Club. So everybody check that out. And we're just rolling along, man. Going into deer season, dove season. I don't know. Did you you're in the South Zone, so you didn't get to hunt this
no.
weekend. And then we went to down to Del Rio, checked and moved cameras and stuff. So, dude, it was crazy. Like, just dove everywhere. And it's just like, I didn't even take a shotgun with me because I did not want to tempt myself since it wasn't season, but they were flying pretty good, though, down there.
Yeah.
It was. I think it's going to be a pretty good year from even the stuff I've seen just from today, from this past weekend. Like, there's a lot of birds right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of action on social media this last weekend with people that were able to hunt, but hopefully everything stays the way it is now and we don't get some weather to blow them out or do any of that, and we'll be in good shape. But been seeing a lot flying down here too.
Yeah, yeah. So if y'all want to go to Del Rio or Bracketville, technically, we can go down there because there's a ton. Got
Bunch of them.
down a pipeline where we got 2 stands set up, and they were just like crossing back and forth the whole time. It was pretty cool to watch when we were down there. When just like filled feeders, changed batteries on cameras, almost got the Ranger stuck because it dumped on us when we were down there, but Sunday night. But it was a good trip though. Made it back yesterday. Went to work this morning. Get chased by rattlesnakes. Oh man. So what have you been up to, man? What's been going on?
You know, it feels like I was hunting not too long ago, but long ago at the same time. So after that, just been traveling a lot for work and doing that type of stuff. But we just got back from a good friend's trip with a bunch of kids down in Port A this weekend, and it was the boys' first trip to the beach, and it was good. We got
Heck
sandy,
yeah.
got hot, got sunburnt, and jumped in the pool and passed out hard. So it was a good kids' weekend for sure.
Good, man. Good. Yeah. We saw the pictures on Facebook and it looked like it was a pretty good time for sure. Yeah. We've been introducing Haston, out into the sun and everything, but like now, you seen this weekend, we had like a little fan for him and everything. We were riding around because it got hot for a little while, but then after it rained, it cooled down, but still just, it's another level.
Yeah.
I thought my truck was full before when it was just Megan and I, but like, nah, dude, there was
No.
way more room in there. We got
Mm-mm.
10 more stuff, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Between that and then we got, 3 dogs now. I don't think I told you yet, but I'm sure you've seen pictures and videos of old Boone. Yeah, so bringing him along too, it's just adding to it, but it's just cruising down the road.
Well, I hate to break it to you again, but when he gets a little older, and down here in the hot weather, it's like you got to catch it early in the morning when they get up, or you got to go right before dark, or it's too
Hmm.
hot. Like it's like they want to go outside. You got two boys running around the house getting crazy, but you're like, you can't go outside because you will have a heat stroke right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
So.
Yeah, got to take advantage of it when it hopefully cools down. Yeah, man. So I know we had a conversation about your pre-plan for Africa, which everybody go check out that podcast. I can't remember what number it was. Maybe 58, 59, something like that. Something like that. But about your plan and what you were kind of going after. And I don't want to spoil it for the listeners. Of course, if they follow Instagram, they saw your posts and everything, and that we collabed on and stuff, and we reshared. The first question for you is, how different was the outcome from your plan?
Oh, it was your traditional hunting trip. You're planning what you had planned and what you wanted to do is totally the opposite of what actually happened, right? And so,
Yeah.
whether you're turkey hunting or whitetail hunting or African hunting or whatever, you just got to pivot and take what comes your way. But some of it, I mean, I won't say all of it, right? But my approach and how I wanted it to unfold was not exactly how that's the most of the animals that I ended up getting were on my list with a couple surprises for sure. But yeah, you just got to go in with kind of how you want to do it, and then when shit doesn't go your way, you just got to roll with the punches, and that's what I had to do. So when it went in hoping, I took my bow, only wanted a bow hunt, went in hoping to get all my animals with a bow and set up good for that. It was really wet, it wasn't really dry to where a bunch of animals were having to come to water all day. And they even brought citrus in, brought a bunch of loads of oranges in to try to entice them to come to certain spots, and it just wasn't bow season, man. It has to be really dry, and they had almost record rainfall when we were over there. Well, before we got over there, so it was really green, and so I started the first 2 days in a bow blind, really cool bow blinds on water, and saw a couple kudu non-shooters, and saw a big herd of Cape buffalo come in 50 yards from us across a pond, and winded us, which was crazy. I mean, we were in a shut off blind, and they picked up a scent with barely any wind blowing, and it was just wild how they scoped you out. But outside of that, nothing to shoot at anyway. And so the third day we started spotting and stalking. We had others that were riding around and looking for stuff in the buggies, and then a tracker and I kind of just started walking through the brush and came up on a few things, nothing I really wanted to shoot at, but we kept bumping stuff. You get on something to make a play, and you kept bumping things. The wind wasn't right, or things weren't right, and we made it about noon, and I said, the hell with this. I'm done. I've given it a good college try and try. I mean, I've done it. I've done everything. I've sat in a blind for 8 hours a day and tried that. We spot and stalked for half a day and didn't have much luck. And so I put the bow up, jumped in the truck with another set of hunters, and started riding around. And that's kind of when it began. We jumped up on a right at dusk. We saw a kudu cow kind of trotting across one of the roads we were just driving down, and the guide said, "Whoa, wouldn't that be cool if a old kudu bull just came out?" And so I grabbed the gun from the back and jumped out, and South Texas style, threw my arm up on the window and put it on there. Got a good rest, and one of them said, "Well, I don't think he's gonna stop." And then somebody whistled. He stopped and shot him right in the neck from about 175 yards away, and that's it was a really really good Cape Eastern Cape kudu, and I
Yeah.
didn't have that one. I had a greater kudu from farther north in South Africa, and so that kind of began the hunting. And I was like, all right, I bow hunted for 2.5 days, and now it's time to start to lay some stuff down. So it was good.
Yeah. When I texted you, or we were talking a little bit back and forth, and I was like, man, don't go over there and not come back with something. And you were like, don't worry, I'm home.
No,
And I was
no,
like, as soon as you said that, I was like, yep, stuff's about to die. And like,
yeah,
the man, it's there. That habitat is just crazy the way it changes, and like you have to have it set up to bow hunt anything in Africa, you have to have all the cards in your favor, and weather and the way the habitat is, and food and water, all are like huge parts of that. So if it's not exactly how you need it to be, it's real hard to get them in close, especially to shoot with a bow. I mean, like
Yep.
you said, like that on that shot on that kudu is 175 yards. Like, I don't think people really understand. And I mean, I have yet to do that. I mean, I've shot at longer distances, but not at animals so much, more targets and stuff like that. But like, when you have to make a longer shot, which most people, I will probably say in America, probably make the longest shot they're going to take is 110, 120 yards,
Yeah.
especially in the South. Maybe out West, for sure out West is different. But in the South, that's going to be the longest shot you're going to take. And when you go to a place and you're shooting 175, 250, 300, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, we shot. I mean, we had some decent closer shots around 100, 150, right? But then, I mean, hell, with the gear they had out there, we were making shots up to 450, 500 yards on some stuff, and so and the rifles did it. We had, I forget the scope he had, but where you just press the red dot and it kind of, lines out what yardage and everything for you, and then you just
Yeah.
match it up and pull the trigger, right? And so
Yeah.
didn't have to dial a whole bunch, had good gear. And so we were able to make some pretty far shots. And this before, when I went to Limpopo, it was South Texas brush country. I mean, it was closer shots. You were covered up with brush and had to weave in and out. This was it was 30,000 acres of private land, but it's all free range. And what some people don't understand about South Africa, for a hunting operation, you have to be high fenced, but it's not like the high fence we have in the States or in Texas. It's slick wire, and it's just a high fence for that. And it's more to keep people out than keep things in. And
Yeah.
so every species on this place could go back and forth between neighbors, except for like a giraffe or something like that. And so you have kudu and eland and smaller species just coming in and out of these fences. And so it's really free range. I mean, it was 30,000 acres of private mountain land, and just really cool country to make farther shots when you had the opportunity. So
Yeah, the videos and stuff, like I said, you were sitting over, looked pretty cool. And then, like you said, it looked different than the place that you've been before. And I think this is what people don't understand too. It's like, you go to Africa, like, how can you keep going to Africa? I mean, you can hunt different ways, different
yeah,
landscapes. Then
different
you can hunt on
things
the
like
coast, up in the mountains. Like you said, you had the greater kudu before, and then this is the eastern Cape kudu. Like, there's different species you can go after multiple times. But yeah, that's a good way to start it off with a kudu right off the bat, man. That's pretty cool.
yeah. So we did the kudu that evening, and then the next day it was we went after gemsbuck. So we went to a neighbor's place who had more gemsbuck herds, and there was three out of the four that wanted Gibbsbuck. And so we all piled up and just went hunting together and rode around. And that place was really cool because it had a lot of like cliffs and things to where you would get on a high cliff on one of the sides and just look over the whole plains, and you could see for miles, and you were glassing and just seeing where the herds were. And then you had to get in a truck and drive a good way to even get close enough to make a stalk on. But um, we drove in this place, and a couple guys wanted to shoot warthogs, and it was warthog rich, and they were popping warthogs on the way in, and we got to some good plains areas to scope out Gimsbuck, and we kind of went our separate ways, and um, saw a herd. We were on a cliff for me, saw a herd, kind of drove down, got on the level with them, and um, got about 500 yards away behind some trees and brush, and got out and all got in a line. And I think I got a picture of it, but we had our shooting sticks, and the guide actually put the shooting sticks up like a pair of Gimsbuck horns. Like everybody was walking behind him and just tried to hide behind all that
Yeah.
stuff when they were able to see us. And got about 200 yards away. And that was our last bush before it was just all open. And a bull was, quartering away from me, and made a good shot on him, and went about 75 yards and laid down. And that was day two. So it was a good start.
Yeah, man. And so, what caliber were you shooting?
So a couple different ones. So this one was I think it was a 257, I believe,
The
257.
257 Roberts?
I think this was the Weatherby.
Or
I believe
Weatherby?
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
So there's a 257 Roberts only because we were at Horizon. We built a few of them. But like the 257 Roberts and 257 Weatherby's kind of the same thing. Like Weatherby makes their rounds and it's a little bit different, like the cartridge size and stuff. A whole bunch of nerd ballistic stuff. But it's cool how they're so similar, but like because they couldn't be the same, there's little subtle differences. But yeah, it's a good round for sure. I know a lot of
yeah.
guys use it for like most of the ones we built went out west. Like a lot of guys use it for mule deer guns and pronghorn stuff like that, and a couple guys use it for elk too. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice round.
It's a flat shooting gun. My dad had one. It was same caliber, 257 mag Weatherby, and I mean it's you don't see that round as often as your 30-06 and different things,
Yeah,
but I mean it's a sweet gun. So
yeah, it'd be cool to have one. Yeah, in that round, or shoot a West Texas muley with it or something like that, or take it back to Africa.
so I shot with that one a couple days. I got the kudu with that. I got the Gims with that, and then the third day, we were so the guy who started hunting with this guide. So we teamed up with one guide when I started rifle hunting, and the guy that went. Matt, you know Matt.
Yeah, yeah, Olsen.
Yeah, Olson. Yeah, he was using this gun and he shot a lot of stuff over there. So we were actually running out of ammo for this gun after he and I started laying things down. And so the third day that I was hunting with him, he got the 300 Win Mag out, and this was actually kind of a target gun. I mean, it was a heavy, like lay down prone type of gun, but we were using that one too. And so we
Yeah,
we would lay down on the ground, make long shots with it, or just put it on the hood of the truck, or if we had to walk and stalk, we would do that too. But we had to take the right shot. I mean, you weren't going to hold it up. So the third day, we were actually helping one of the other guys look for a Gims buck that he shot on, or a blue wildebeest on this place. So we were tracking blood, a whole group of us, and just kind of tracking. We tracked for maybe half a mile or so, and then everybody kind of stopped and looked up, and they were like, "Oh, hey, Elin, right up here, look!" And there was two bulls just out by themselves, about I don't know, a couple hundred yards away too. And that was Elin was on my list, and he hands me the 300 Win Mag, and this big old this gun is like 12 pounds. I mean, this is like a long target type of gun.
yeah,
And so I put it on this, like, it wasn't even a big tree, it was between a small tree and a bush, but I just put it in a Y wherever I could fit it. And I'll send you the video, you could show everybody
yeah,
too. But I'm just sitting in between there, and you just see this gun just boom, just shake this tree back and forth. But um, it was all quick. But as soon as I put it up there and got the scope on him, and got on the right one, um, he was facing broadside. And so I put it on his shoulder. But as soon as I did that, he kind of reached around to start licking his shoulder like this. And he just kind of stayed there. And I was like, look, I'm either gonna hit a shoulder where I want to, or he's about to get headshot. And I just squeezed the trigger. And no sooner than I did that, everybody started screaming. And I'm kind of trying to recover from this tree rocking back and forth. And
yeah,
they're like, how in the world that happened? He just dropped right where he was. Well, I shot him right in the base of the horn in the head because he kept his head there,
yeah.
and didn't have to track a eland. Didn't have to chase him anywhere. It just laid him down right there. So that's a good shooting gun as well. But that was a hell of a hunt as well. So
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of animals in Africa that get taken down with a 300 Win Mag, and I mean, they say that that's probably the caliber that you can find the most if you go over to Africa, just from the different people I've talked to. So they always say like most of them are heavier guns just because of the stuff, like you said, like that they have over there. Like they don't have access to like carbon fiber stocks and all the stuff that we have over here. I mean, if you ever go to a trade show and you meet some South Africans, they're definitely trying to get you to bring stuff over legally, people, legally
yes,
over to them because
yes,
it is so hard for them to get access to good gear. I mean, just backpacks, anything that they can have. And I mean, the trackers too. I mean, I bet
Mhm.
that was pretty cool. Like you said, when y'all were coming up on, then y'all saw the eland, you were tracking for half a mile. I mean, like, that's probably the one thing I'm most excited about for Africa is like to see the trackers. Of course, I know you talked about it, Megan's talked about it before, but just seeing them work and seeing them do the things that they do, because we'll never be at their level just because we weren't born there, but just being able to pick up little stuff to hopefully bring back here when you're tracking stuff. But like they're on another level for sure.
Yeah. Oh, the trackers were good too, but one thing that was different this round too is this outfit. The head guy, ranch manager, had a pack of dogs. I mean, he had a pack of Aussies that he would take out with him too. And these guys were bay dogs and blood dogs. I mean, it was
Yeah,
crazy what these things would do. I mean, the trackers were good at knowing how to track and where to look and track blood too. But these dogs were even better. I mean, they were on trail ahead of them and chasing down everything. And then we had a couple, wounded animals that didn't just go down right away, and so they would go ahead of us, and they would actually bay them and keep them from jumping up until we would get there. And so it was crazy to watch these dogs work. The head guide was telling us that he's either hunted or been a part of a hunt on Cape Buffalo, I think 80 to 90 times over his 25-year hunting career.
yeah,
And one of the dogs he had, I mean, he saved him from buffalo. I don't know how many times. I mean, from baying and just getting on Cape Buffalo. You got like Aussies, like I've got two. They're never gonna chase a Cape Buffalo, but saving you from a Cape Buffalo multiple times, like that's
yeah.
wild.
As you both know, all the listeners know, we are big fans of hunting with dogs and being able to use them over there in Africa. Since I started learning more about that, that gets me excited too. I mean, like cat hunts and stuff like that. Like I saw, oh man, who was it? Was it Wade Lamond? I think it was him. He took over a pack of dogs that he's been running lines with in Utah. It was either him or
Hmm.
his son, and he took them over and they chased jaguars in Africa and stuff like
That's
that. Like
cool.
it's or leopards. Sorry, leopards, not jaguars. Um, but yeah, going over and doing stuff like that. But yeah, you, Aussies wouldn't be on my list of dogs if you'd have been like, "Hey, Brandon, what breed of dog do you think they use over there?" I'd have said some kind of terrier or like a jag terrier or something like that. But Aussies would definitely not been on the list.
They were some bad Aussies, man. I mean, they were kind of you know, hardier dogs
Yeah.
than what we see over here. That big old paws. I mean, bigger bodied and I mean, well bred for sure. So
Oh yeah, man, that'd have been cool to see. Like just see them go after Cape Buffalo and track and blood tracking. Because I even would have thought like blood tracking. I know they're herding dogs and like they'll bay something, but like I never would have thought they'd have been good at blood tracking too. But it
yeah,
figures if they got a good enough prey drive, they'll track it. Breed don't really matter on that.
no.
Man,
So
that's
that was the third day of killing stuff, not the third day of being there. We were there 10 days altogether, but the next day, um, went out hunting again, and you know, a few of us mentioned like one guy, Matt Olson, he got a sable earlier in the week, and a couple of guys were like, "Hey, let's go look for Niala, this and that. If we see a sable," and I told him, I was like, "If we see a sable and it's a good one, like I'll take the opportunity." And we were
mm-hmm.
riding around. It rained that morning, and we were kind of waiting for things to come out from the rain onto the hillsides where it was kind of sunny, and it was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock mid morning, and somebody spotted where the sable were because we kind of knew the area they were, and we would see them at certain parts of the day, but then they disappear and you can't really find them, so nobody really knew where they went. But we're riding around that day and hunting for Niala and kudu on hillsides, and somebody saw them, so we kind of made our way that way, about 5 miles away, I think, through the brush there. Saw him on hilltop. He was just laying on the hillside, kind of in the same area, and we were able to get through a creek bed into some brush and kind of do a stalk up the hill,
Yeah,
getting to him. And he had stood up by the time we were there, and so we're about 200 yards away. Just peeked out from behind the brush and got a good shot on him broadside, and he ran downhill about 100 yards and crashed down. And the dogs were kind of trying to bay him up, but he wasn't going to last long. But that was a really majestic, cool animal. I mean, you see a sable, and I know Megan got one too, right? But like you see a sable, and you're like, man, they're just so majestic and cool animals, and maybe one day, and then you're there, and you're like, well, the hell with it. Let's go shoot one. Like
Yeah.
probably, I'm gonna bust my budget here, but the hell with it. Let's just go
Yeah,
do it.
I
And
get to look at one every time I walk in my house, and he's huge. And the past two places we've had, this one in College Station, they're not huge places, so there's no big, elevated, vaulted ceilings for this sable to sit. He sits right there eye level with you, so you see
yeah,
him all the time, and it's so cool. Like her sable's pretty big, and like I said, the taxidermy and everything's awesome on it, so it's pretty cool sitting in the living room.
yeah. Prince of the Prairie, man. If you get a chance, definitely take the opportunity. So
Oh yeah, it's on the list, man. I'm the list just gets longer and longer, but yeah, the sable's on it for sure.
well, I got two more, so I'll keep going. You tell me if you want to stop or not. But so the next day, we kind of do the same thing. We're just riding through the mountains and the hillsides looking for kudu and Nyala because that's kind of where they like to hang out and where you'll kind of see them pop out. And
Yep.
this is in the backside of this place, so we have to go quite a ways to kind of get in the area where they're kind of hanging out in these kind of it's in these kind of valleys in these canyons and stuff like that. The same stuff you would see in Colorado elk hunting, man. It's crazy. But the brush is different. Like you think it's real thick brush and hardy brush, but then you get into it and it's bending like a rubber band. Like I
Huh.
forget what it's called, but it's weird brush to kind of work through, but it's really thick and good cover for all the animals. But we're kind of glassing, and we see a really good Nyala bull on the other side of this canyon, and so we kind of try to make a move down and get on, I guess the same level that he is across the canyon to make a good shot. And
Yeah.
he was behind some trees on the other side, and the first shot, I got him kind of back because the wind was blowing across the canyon. It was a good 300 plus yards. And so the bullet kind of drifted and it hit him kind of far back, where the rib or gut kind of met. He went up the mountain a little bit and kind of went behind some trees, but you could tell he was hit pretty good because he wasn't going anywhere. He was hurt pretty bad, just kind of standing there. And second shot, I tried to sneak it in. The neck and shoulder were kind of right behind this branch, and tried to sneak it in. Hit the branch one time. Second shot, it hit him in the shoulder, and saw him kind of go down. And so after that, the dog just took off down the canyon and up. And he was over there. We were thinking, man, it's going to take us, I don't know how long to get, like 2 hours to get across this canyon. The dog was already there before we decided what the hell we were going to do. Um, and the tracker was right behind him. We're like, oh, how long is it going to take us? And the Sia is sitting there waving at us, hey, hey, I got him up here.
Yeah.
The dog's on him. And so we kind of make our way down there, and we're huffing and puffing, climbing up, this other side of the canyon to try to get to him. And by the time I got there, Matt was kind of ahead of me, and the dog kind of chased him out of where he was kind of hanging out from, and came down towards us. So I wasn't able to get a shot, but it wasn't long after that we kind of just let him rest in there, and he had passed away, and the dog was just kind of sitting there letting us know where he was. And so that was really cool. They told me that nobody had really been back in that canyon for about a decade, like because it's so hard to get in and get out. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
get a vehicle in there at all. And so we were on the hills, the kind of side of the canyon, and drug him down in a kind of an open area. Took pictures, did all that stuff. They went and got more vehicles and people to come help get him out of there. And the trackers all came in. We ended up cutting them in half and putting them on sticks, and kind of just dissecting them right there. And it was quite the task to get him out where we could get him onto a truck. But that was the coolest hunt for me, man, because it was really remote. You look around, you're like, I could be elk hunting, but I'm in
Yeah.
Africa with a
Yeah.
Nyala in a canyon, and we had a good hour. Me and Matt Olson just kind of sat on the hillside waiting on everybody to come back, and good hour just to soak all that stuff up. So it was pretty cool. So
Oh man, dude, like even when we were like saying in Idaho and stuff and doing that, but like being able to sit there with an animal in a country that's on the other side of the world and that been reading books about and stuff like that since you're a little kid, like
yeah,
yeah, that's what it's all about. Like killing stuff's fun and it adds to it, but like being able to go in those places like you said, remote like that you know nobody's been back here in 10 years, let alone killed something or hunted something. So yeah, man, that one was definitely my favorite story of what you brought back when you told me about it and everything. But this last one, The last one is the one that gets me real excited
Yeah.
because it was like, oh, well, I'll just let you explain it.
Well, it was a good week of crossing things off the list after trying to bow hunt and do all the stuff. And when you have a day like you just had on the hillside, it kind of, Nyala, Sable, Gemsbuck, Eland, Kudu. I mean, you've done some things this week, right? And so
Yeah.
went back to the lodge and had more than a few beers and some other drinks and had a great time and wanted to celebrate. And the thought crossed my mind like, hell, I may just sleep in tomorrow. We've been going hard at it for 8 days or so, or whatever we're doing inside. It was kind of drizzling that morning. I had thought about sleeping in, but ended up going to get coffee at the lodge and just kind of see everybody off and hang out. And um, the head guide, Sean, gets a phone call, and this place, to help with predators, they have a pack of hounds that they run every day. They have a houndsman that's all he does is take care of the hounds, and that's how they kind of keep the jaguars at bay and other predators at bay and keep things out. And so he got off the phone, he said, who wants a caracal lynx? He's like, we got a houndsman has one treed up there, who wants to shoot a cat? And I kind of looked around the room and nobody was really saying anything. I'm like, shit, I'll go shoot a cat. And I was like, let me do it with my bow. And so I grabbed my bow, and we got in the truck and had to go find them. I mean, we kind of knew where they were and went as far as we could with the truck and kind of stopped and heard the hounds baying. I mean, dude, there had to be 30 freaking dogs baying this thing in this creek bottom. And um, then we had to kind of just get on foot and go up and down and get over there to him, and got up there, and he's up in a tree with about 30 hound dogs just banging at him the whole time. Chaos just breaking loose everywhere. And the bad part about it is like I don't know what trees they were, tall trees, but they just had little small limbs crossing everywhere. It was like this. There was no good opening to make a good bow shot. And um I think I made about two shots. The first shot missed because it hit a limb. Second shot, I hit him, but it wasn't really good. And then finally, I had to kind of make a move and get around a better opening, and I made a really good shot. And he just kind of fell out of the tree, and then the dog started going to town on this thing in the creek, and had to kind of call him off so he wouldn't kind of ruin the hide or anything like
Yeah, yeah.
that. But it was cool, and it was nostalgic for me too, because the when I went to Idaho a few years ago, went mountain lion hunting, and was able to do that up there too with the bow, and it was kind of the
Yeah.
same setup but just different continent, different cat, and it
Hmm.
was a really cool hunt. So,
Yeah, man. Like you said, we're big fans of hunting with dogs and being able to do it over there on a caracal, which is a pretty cool animal. If you haven't, Google it. I don't say many cats are cool because I'm not a fan of them, but any large cat, mountain lion, not house cats. House cats, there's something else. Mountain lions, big predators. They're really really cool animals, and caracals are on that list. So Google them if you've never seen one. But like you said, it's kind of like the Africa's lynx would be kind
yeah.
of the equivalent of what we have over here. And I mean, we don't even. Are they in the lower 48 or just Canada? I'd have to look that up to be sure. Oh no, they
I
have
don't
them in Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
it's a different kind of links, our links over here versus what that one is
yeah,
over there. But yeah.
yeah. But yeah, they're pretty close in size or something like that. But yeah, man, that was my favorite hunt. Just because one, because with the dogs, of course, but then two, because you got to bust the bow out and get something on the dark continent with archery equipment, which is
Yeah.
really really hard to do. So yeah,
And it's
man,
so
that was
random. I mean, you never know, man. You go over there with your sights on hunting bow the whole time, and that doesn't really work out. And so you start using the gun, and then when you think you're done, something random pops up like that, and you take your bow and go make a memory. So it was cool.
oh yeah. Heck yeah, man. That was awesome. And I like I said, it's the whole trip was really cool to see all the videos and stuff you shared. We'll share them again and post them in the podcast and everything. But yeah, man. So what's next, Jared? Are we putting in for Idaho in December or what?
Yeah, for sure. December 1st is we'll be here before you know it. But Real quick, and then we'll move on to that. Just want to give a shout out to this place, man, Sean,
Oh yeah, for
and the
sure.
whole place at Fort Governor. So we were at Fort Governor Safaris there in the Eastern Cape, down kind of on the tip by the coast, and like I said, a whole different setup than Limpopo or northern South Africa. But they started this place about 10 years ago. They're high fence, but really free range, 30,000 acres private land. The game variety is crazy. I mean, part of the reason why we couldn't spot and stalk as good as we wanted to is because there's so many different eyes on you, not just in one herd, but you have Impala over here looking at you. You have another herd of Gemsbuck over here looking at you. So it's the game selection is amazing in the numbers that they have over there. And that's one thing Sean and I talked a lot about when we were there, and with the guys too, about, they only do a certain amount of hunts per year because they want to manage the place correctly and have the right hunters over there and keep the numbers that they have going and the management style that they have. And they're obviously they need to make money as a safari and a business, right? But they're not there just to wipe out herds and just, they don't bring animals in. They don't do a bunch of that stuff either. And so just really depend on the management that they do over there. And it's amazing. They got trophy caliber animals, a lot of numbers, and it was really good. And the accommodations, I mean, we had like 5 cabins to ourselves, so each hunter had their own cabin and had a lodge on the end with the pool and everything. And you kind of just stay to yourself at night, and in the morning you come get a cup of coffee, some light breakfast, and then hit the ground running all day, and then come back and have some cold beers and tell stories around the campfire, and go to sleep and do it all over again. But it was awesome. The guides and accommodations and everything they had over there were really great. So I definitely would consider going back there in a few years whenever my budget gets recovered a little bit. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, definitely want to give those guys a shout because I mean, a lot of people are are I don't know, reluctant to go to Africa in some aspects because of the whole guide situation and not being known. And of course, you're in another country on another continent. But
yeah,
man, there's some really good guides out there. Like you said, the ones Jared met, the ones he's been with before, Meagan knows some too. I mean, it's a part of going to these trade shows, Dow Safari Club, all these different organizations, SCI, that stuff, and you can meet these people and actually build a relationship with them before you're stuck with them on a continent you've never been on before.
yeah. And
And it
the other
pays to
thing I
know
would tell
people
you,
too.
they kind of switched up their business model. They were telling us, like Sean was telling us, like before COVID, they had a lot of European clientele because the owner's from Germany,
Mm,
and COVID kind of happened, things slowed down. He said the one thing we noticed is the U.S. doesn't stop coming. I mean, they keep coming. They hunt. They keep coming over here. And what I found both times, but really this time, I mean, this group was really good about South Africans are just like Texans, man. All the things that we
yeah,
love and that we kind of bond on, it's you kind of meet lifelong friends. I mean, we've been messaging back and forth with our whole group and those guys since we got back. And it's hey, how's the family? What are y'all up to for July 4th? I mean, all the things.
yeah.
And so we really had a good time and bonding with that crew over there. So
That's good, man. That's real good to hear because I might need some recommendations here.
I would recommend you go over there. So
Yeah, man. But that's great. Like finding new places to go. Like I had Luke Keller on a podcast, and he's with HTK Safaris, and they're in Namibia. So it's like it's not even who's better. It's just like where do you want to hunt and what do you want to
yeah.
do and what do you experience? Because I mean,
Oh, yeah.
when he was telling me about hunting in the desert out there, like that's completely different than hunting in the mountains. Like so,
Yep.
it's a lot of different things you can do in Africa, and there's a lot of great guides and outfitters that'll get you where you need to go.
You mentioned equipment and stuff, and you're totally right. Like we were talking about, hey, if you want a certain rifle, let us know and we'll buy it over here and bring it over there. And I mean, we can legally, like we'll do all that stuff. And just,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you can't get, we'll bring it with us next time. And but the one thing they mentioned that is a lot easier and over the counter, and will interest you is silencers. I mean,
Yeah.
those things, they're like a convenience store. Oh, you want one? Here you go. Like it's no big
Yeah.
deal. So
Yeah. That a country, a continent like Africa that just sells silencers as an accessory, like it
yeah.
should be. But yeah, we, as I say, we Silencer Shop, we're working on that, and it's getting a little better. I mean, we had the biggest change in the NFA since 1930 when it came out, with the new bill that's coming with the $0 tax stamp. But
Big deal.
we're still pushing for more. And I mean, it's new technology. News companies are going to be able to pop up. There's going to be a lot of different stuff on the market. Like I said, we'll say do your research, because like I said, there's a lot of people that are going to hop in the game, but if they stay there, we'll see. But it's going to open it up for a lot of new engineering and a lot of new tech, and there's a lot of new cans that are coming out that are pretty cool, especially for the hunting side. Like, the guys are all worried about full auto rated and 5.56 and shooting and doing all that CQB and stuff, but like there's some hunting suppressors that are coming out that are going to be just as quiet and still be lightweight to where you're not packing around a brick while you're hiking around and stuff. So, man, there's going to be a lot of different changes come January 1st for sure. But yeah, in Africa, you can just pick them up like you pick up everything else.
Yeah, bring me a gun I can't get over here because it's so hard to get a
Go
gun,
get a
but
suppressor.
I can get a suppressor any day I want to. Yeah.
And then when you come to America, you can get a gun a whole lot easier than you can get a suppressor same day.
Yeah. Yeah. They were telling us like it's a stack like this big on everything you need paper wise to actually get a gun, like permits on guns, and you can only have so many, and if you want more than that, you have to apply and be like a guide or some kind of business to where you need more. And to get an AR over there, good luck. Like you're gonna have to
Yeah.
go. The stack's gonna be this big to try to get one of those. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I remember when I've heard stories when Q, they make the Honey Badger and the Minifix and all that. Well, when Kevin Brittingham was first trying to go over to Africa to test out the Minifix, he had to go through all these different paperwork and talk to all these people because it looks like an AR, like it's foldable stock, like it doesn't look like a traditional hunting rifle. So like the extra stuff that he had to go through, he's like, it's a bolt action, and it's a bolt action gun, but it's just not your traditional rifle. So yeah, they don't like ARs, they don't like AKs, like that to them is bad, which I mean, I kind of understand why.
Sure. It's a little Western over there, I can tell you. So,
Yeah.
if you're not out in the mountains on a private ranch by yourself, things can get a little Western in the township
Yeah.
for sure. So
yeah, it's not like, well, it could be like, walking down the streets of Chicago after this past weekend, the stuff I've been reading. But yeah.
Hey, listen, it was no problem at 7 a.m. when we went to a gas station on the way we were going to hunt, get gas or whatever. But when you went to that same gas station after dark and your guide walks in with a gun in his belt, I mean, yeah, you just gotta watch where you're going, what you do.
Yep,
So,
you understand,
yeah.
man. But yeah, so that was hunting for the summer. What did you do? Anything else? Did you go fishing or anything else this past summer when you got back?
We went to customer trip wise, we went to a place in Louisiana. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'll think of it in a second. But we took some customers over there. Had an okay day. We were fishing mullet. Others were fishing shrimp, and they caught more fish and better fish. And so just kind of luck of the draw thing. And then took another customer trip in August, and I caught a shark, but let customers catch some big reds and a couple jack and things like that. But
Nice.
that's really been it this summer. Did more of the vacation and stuff with the kids and whatnot, but I'm getting the itch. I definitely want to go do a good dove trip or do something and put in on December 1st for Idaho and try to grab a rifle tag for mule deer and
Yeah.
go do that next year. But I don't know, man. I'm feeling a Merriam. I may be feeling a Merriam in the springtime to make a trip
Yeah.
up there. So.
Yeah. And we kind of briefly spoke about something that may be in the works. I don't want to put it out there yet for springtime, but hopefully we're going to get to go somewhere else and get a different subspecies of turkey. So, and then hopefully next year too, maybe go back to that same place and kind of throw a little dove pachanga. We can bring the family and do some good, cool stuff in a different place.
Cool. I'm up for it. I can go north or I can go south, whatever, or east or west. I don't care. I'll go chase them birds anywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'll tell you what, that's been the only thing since we got this lease and we've been going out there in camera. That's the only thing that I haven't seen yet. And
Come on.
I'm a little upset, just a little bit, but I have yet to see a turkey. The messed up thing about it is though, I haven't seen a turkey, but in the past 2 times we've been down there, I've seen the most quail I've ever seen in my life. So I guess I'm trading one ground nesting bird for another, but like quail hunting's cool, but I ain't got no quail dogs.
Man, like I don't know, I'm no expert, but one would think if there are quail that are thriving and surviving in that country, turkey's got to be there.
I'm saying the same thing, man. I'm saying the same thing, and I don't understand it. I don't know. I guess I don't know if it's like in a little window where there's not, because I mean, you go north, and I know there's turkeys like Uvalde down to Brackettville. I mean, I know there's turkeys there, but like in between, and I know there's turkeys further south in Del Rio because we've seen them before. But like, I don't know if we're just in a little spot where they're not at or what. But I mean, I need to go walk around a little bit more. But still, I like even on the road, haven't seen anything, and they're
Send
definitely not coming to the feeders.
send this place to me on X. I'm about to do some research here. I'm gonna see what's going on over at this place.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, it's that's the only thing that we haven't found yet. But I mean, we've got a couple pictures of some aoudad, bunch of does, some little bucks. So we're gonna get something. We'll be able to hunt something this year, but I don't
That'd
know
be
about
cool, man.
springtime. We'll have to find another turkey spot.
Well, plenty of birds if you know who to call and where to go look. So
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll definitely find them for sure. Well, man, I'm glad we got you on the podcast. We'll recap Africa and everything else, and then we'll get rolling on this hunting season. I think it's going to be pretty good, man. Like I said, if y'all want to put something together, we can go down south and go kill some birds down there, and we can find some in Goliad, wherever. But yeah, it's gonna be a good season though. There's so many birds, it's crazy. I've been looking at Lubbock and all the North Zone, and it looks like Argentina.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yes, sir.
But I think
Well,
enough time has passed for Jenna not to be mad about how much money I spent in Africa. So we can start talking about hunting again. So if you think of something, you just let me know and we'll get it done.
yes, sir. Sounds good, man. Well, appreciate everybody listening to the podcast tonight, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Adios.